share this with you. And gosh, we got a lot of great people that are signed up for the class. So I think they're all just kind of logging on right now. And let me ask you a question while I'm waiting. What is it that you guys would like to learn today? So you can kind of go off mute while we're waiting for other people to log on and tell me what you'd like to learn today.
Well, Georgia, if I'll go first, if that's okay.
Go
Is that
ahead.
all right?
Yeah, what would you like
All
to?
right. Well, what I'd like to learn is what the value I can provide to my staff and the agents within the market center, not only for my own edification, but for theirs as well. So knowledge is power, and the more that I learn, the more I can pass on to other people. So
I love that. I love that. All right. So who else is on the call that would like to share what they'd like to, or because I want to make sure that I cover everything for everybody. Hey, David Miller, how are you doing today? David Miller's one of our, David, you're out in Orlando North Market Center, right?
Yes, I am. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Good, good, good. Good to see you. Is there anything in particular, David, that we can share with you today?
Well, I've been with KW for about 14 years, so I'd like to get a better understanding of all these opportunities that are out there, other than running a strong team.
Negative. So David's one of our top teams out there in the Orlando North Market Center. So thank you, David, for being on the call today.
Absolutely.
Maureen, how about you? Well, I'm waiting for everybody to kind of log on. I'm just kind of going through and seeing people that I know. Maureen, is there anything in particular you're on the call to learn about today? I know you're always learning based, so you always like to learn about everything.
That's the thing. You're talking, Georgia. I'm on the call. That's what I'm doing on the call.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like we got everybody. Ashley, are you ready to record? All right. So, well, guys, I put this together today because so many people have questions about what is Keller Williams Opportunities. So I just thought I would put this together, and actually it's kind of a continuation of me gathering information and putting it together, and it's just kind of grown into this presentation that I have. Some of this is because I have the opportunity to teach FSO, so I get to learn about all the new things that Keller Williams is bringing to the table, and a lot of it is because I've been around for a long time. I've got a lot of knowledge base that I can share with you, and then a lot of this is just things that are very, very current that I'm not sure that everybody knows where to go and find some of this information. So that's why we put this together. As I go through the presentation today, I'm going to kind of stay on pace because I go through this very fast because, as you can imagine, Keller Williams has a lot of opportunities. So this is kind of like a big overview of a lot of things. There's some things I drill down into a little bit more specifically. Some of the things that I'm going to say are the more popular opportunities. And then at the same time, I know that some of you will have questions, so I'll stop periodically to answer those questions. Ashley is going to be monitoring the chat box, so if you have any questions, just go in the chat box, and then periodically as she checks that, she'll either answer the question for you, or she'll make sure that she brings it to my attention. And at some point, Ashley's going to put in a Google form, which is going to be the Google form that if you're interested in an opportunity as we're talking, and you want to know more about something, then fill out that Google form and let me know, and we'll be kind of reaching back to you when we're ready to kind of look at the next steps for what we're putting together here. So Ashley, you'll take care of that at some point, correct? Before the end of the session today. It's in there now? Oh, she's putting it in there now. There you go. She's so efficient. So let's start off with this map right here. We offer income opportunities beyond your agent commissions or your current role. So what I like to start with is, you've got the big KW right here in the middle. And there's two areas that I like to say are our biggest opportunities. And then there's, it all kind of starts with you either being an agent or being an associate or associated with Keller Williams in some form or fashion with a market center. So if we look over to this side here, as you see where I have the circle, you see that this is a market center. And in the market center, we have agents, we have mega agents, and we have mega agents teams. And most of our agents join us as agents or mega agents, or sometimes we just, we have large teams joining us. And what we'd like to say is from that opportunity to be associated with us, this kind of leads off into a lot of different areas. First of all, one of the biggest opportunities is being on the Associate Leadership Council. Now, this is important to us as we move forward and look for future leaders, because one of the first questions we ask is, are you serving or have you served on the ALC? That's a big indication to us that you are a leader in the company. And so that's one of the first things that we look for as people are looking for opportunities. Then the other thing is that as an agent, other places that you can go is becoming a market center operating partner. So at some point in time, you could buy or launch or be a partner in a market center. So this would be an operating partner. From here, you can move off into expanding your market center. You can have property management companies. You can have mortgage companies. You can have title companies. So those are some of the other opportunities as a market center operator that you could take. And then up here again, where we have market center, being a mega agent, you can expand. You can expand into as many markets as where you actually have the capability of generating leads. You can become a MAPS coach. That would be specific probably to the roles that you've had within Keller Williams. You can move into a faculty position. And when I say move into, it might be in addition to, because I started with Keller Williams in 1999 as a mortgage person. Actually, I was an affiliated mortgage person. I moved into the team leader role. From there, I actually became on the master faculty. I led e-agency for a while, all serving in the team leader role. Then I launched Market Center in Little Rock, Arkansas, which I'm the OP. I became an investor in 3 or 4 market centers, and then I became a regional director, and then I became a MAPS coach. Now, I held many of those roles all at the same time. So currently I'm a MAPS coach, I'm a master faculty teacher, I'm an operating principal, and I'm a regional director. Okay, see anything else? I think that's it for right now. So as you can see, it's not just one role. When we talk about opportunities, it's multiple opportunities. And in order to be able to move into those opportunities or earn the right to have those opportunities, because they're not just necessarily given to you, we need to see that you're participating and that you're talented along the way. So I'm going to go into some of those areas where you can kind of understand what we look for as you earn the right. You might think that just because I was a team leader, I was blessed to be put in the Team Leader Hall of Fame in 2013. Was it 2000? No, I'm sorry, that was 2006. That, I was just naturally approved as an OP or an RD. No, I had to go through a process. You might think, she just got to be master faculty. No, when I was a team leader, I had to earn that. You might say, you just got to be a MAPS coach. No, I had to go through the process. It doesn't matter where you are on the talent level, how successful, who you are, what you are. I will tell you every step of the way, you have to earn the right to move into that next opportunity. And it starts with almost on the day that you join Keller Williams, because those are the time frames that we look for to see how participatory you are in the company. And the reason I say we is that generally speaking, if you're in a region and you want to be a MAPS coach, you want to be a master faculty, you want to pursue certain areas, they will come to the region and they will say, tell me how this person has participated. Tell me if this person is in culture. Tell me about this person. So that's why I say there's a whole process behind the scenes of being able to earn these rights to be able to have some of these roles within the company. Of course, everyone can have profit share. And then over here on this other side, this is where market center leadership. Some people just join us as a market center leader. So what that would mean is that maybe you were an agent at another company, or like me, I was in the mortgage business and I happened to join Keller Williams as their affiliate, but then I moved right into the leadership position rather than being an agent first. So I became a team leader in 1999 when I joined. I was a mortgage person, but then my first role was actually a team leader. So in market center leadership, we have the operating principal, we have the team leader, assistant team leader, MCA, and staff. Again, from here, you can move into market center productivity coach, a regional director, such as myself, regional operating partner. I'm going to say of all the roles that I have here, that's probably the one that's the least approachable. you'd probably have to be pretty high or involved in the company to be a regional operating partner. That means you own a region. And right now, to own a region, you're in the pretty high millions of dollars to be able to purchase a region. So I would say that you would probably need to be pretty involved in the company in order to move into the OP role. Regional director, kind of the same thing. There's only 32 of us in the entire company. And so you have to have a pretty good background and knowledge base and certain behavioral style in order to move into that regional director role. So those are probably the two that are the most specific, that are the most difficult maybe to approach. Everything else is very earnable. So market center leadership, when you are in a market center, you also have the opportunity to be market center investor, mortgage company investor, title company investor. In fact, that's kind of for anybody in the company. So that's kind of just gives you where we're going to be looking today. So I'm going to start now with what we look for. And when I say we, when I say Keller Williams looks for as we move forward with giving people the opportunity to earn the right to have future opportunities. And, you know, so many times I have people come up to me and say, I'm ready to be an OP now. And I say, well, that's great. And have you served on the ALC? Well, no, but I'm going to do that. Great. Have you been profit sharing? Have you brought people to the company? No, but I'm going to start that now. Well, okay, awesome. Gee, I haven't seen you at any regional events. Haven't seen you at family reunion. Haven't seen you at mega camp. No, but I'm going to start that now. Guys, when you want the opportunity, it's kind of too late to start that, because what we're looking for is a history of you being a leader. See, being a leader does not mean you're getting named a leader. It's not about a role or a title that you have gained. It's about being a leader in the company all the time. And, you know, if you're a leader in your market center, you're constantly training, you're constantly helping other people, you're constantly showing up, you're constantly helping the team leader recruit, you're constantly being on the ALC, you're constantly serving. So you're constantly doing those things because you're just a natural leader. And that's what we're looking for. So to begin with, we're looking for influencers in your area, not only inside and outside of your market center area. So when we're looking for people to move forward into various positions, we're looking for people who are influencers, that you're a cultural role model, that you've demonstrated the culture of Keller Williams, that you're always coming from contribution and not scarcity. You're not the one that says, gee, no, we're not going to go to any training, family reunion. No, that's not for us because we've been 10 times. Don't think I'm going to get any more value from that. That's a scarcity mindset. That's not a mindset of abundance or coming from contribution. Being accountable, not victim, taking responsibilities for, for your actions. If you are an agent in Keller Williams, or even if you're on the leadership side of being in a market center, we want you to master the leverage series. In other words, you need to know career visioning. That is a key element of Keller Williams as to how you grow a team. And if you're growing a team for your own business, or whether you're growing a team for your market center, we all use the career visioning, the 30, 60, 90, and the success through others. So managing or mastering that leverage series would be important. We want to see people who have mastered, use, and teach all areas of command. That is our platform now. Now, I understand that some of you are going to go, we're going through Command 2 and Command 1, and, we have all kinds of conversations going on. I get it. It's probably not perfect, but I tell you right now, my cell phone from time to time is not perfect. Okay. And it wasn't perfect when I first got it. And we can't get to Command 2 and we can't get to where we are today if we never went through the process of getting something launched, because you would never have it. And meanwhile, we would have lost a lot of recognition within the industry. So as Command moves forward, we expect everybody to be engaged and learn all applets and move forward with us. Attend, train, have a GPS, which is your goals, priority, strategy. That's more commonly known as the 135. However, that's a trademark, so we're kind of getting away from the 135 and moving over to GPS. The 411, which is what is your one goal? What are you going to do this month? And what are you going to do in the next 4 weeks in order to make your goals happen? And know and understand and master and teach the 6 personal perspectives. Those would be your getting to mastery, the 80-20 career, going from E to P, having limiting beliefs, being learning based, and then accountability versus victim. Those are the 6 personal perspectives that you should know and master and live by and build your business by. Attend, implement, ignite on a consistent basis, then 36-12-3, then buyer and seller mastery. And what we mean by that is that that you're attending it, and that you're making sure that if you're on the agent side that you've learned it. In other words, ignite is about being able to do 16 transactions a year. If you haven't done 16 transactions a year, you haven't graduated from ignite because you haven't mastered the lead generation. Then you would move into 36-12-3. That's 36 transactions, 12 months, lead generating 3 hours a day. Once you get to 36 transactions, then you would move to buyer and seller mastery, and then you teach it, because when you teach it, you learn and you get better. You read and use the MREA book, the Red Book, the One Thing book, the Shift book. You master the models, the MREA models, and you hold consulting appointments with your staff. Now that's 2 ways. If you're a team, a mega team, you would hold consulting appointments with your staff, your buyer's agents, your listing specialists, and your administrative staff. If you're a team leader or somebody in a leadership position, you're holding regular consulting appointments with your staff, your MCA, your director of first impressions, agent services, and so forth. A mega agent team is no different than a market center team, and a market center team is no different than a mega agent team. I'll describe that in a few minutes. We always have a P&L for our business. So if you're running your own business, your own mega team, you would have a P&L. If you're a market center, obviously you have a P&L. As I said before, you serve as an ALC member and you lead committees. You know our tools, models, and systems. You refer agents to the team leader. You have a profit share tree. You have a MAPS coach. That's really important, particularly if you want to be a MAPS coach. You need to have a MAPS coach. You support and be a leader in your region. Like I said, showing up for events, being participatory, getting people in your market center to come to events. You attend Train the Trainer, the KW Certified Trainer course, and you become certified to be able to teach. You support regional KW events plus attendance from recruits, Bold, Mega Camp, Family Reunion, key events for retaining and recruiting. You lead our agents to events. You attend FSO. There's going to be a digital version. Right now it's on hold because of the COVID, but we will have a digital event coming out soon, probably by the end of the year. Or you attend live, which would be in Austin. And you complete all the required training for any position that you hold, whether that be an agent position or whether that be a leadership position in our company. You would make sure that you've completed all the training. So these are just some things that we as leaders, regional directors or other leaders within the KWRI organization would look for or ask questions about if you were to come and look for opportunities. So what I'm going to move first is I'm going to move into the market center. I'm moving into the agent side of the business. So this would be here at the market center, but agent, mega agent. I'm going to kind of describe what agent teams look like. So let's start with the 7 levels of the organizational model. And I know this is kind of tiny to see, but if you look at level 1, it's just the agent. And I'm going to have a better diagram for you. This is an older diagram, but the reason I'm using this is because it's got a pathway that I want to share with you. Then you're an agent, and then you have an admin. Now, you don't have to start off as an agent at Keller Williams, but when you get to level 3, this is where it kind of gets a little bit a different way that you can build your team or think about another leadership path. So as you see here on level 3, it says career path. Do you want to manage and lead, or do you want to be an agent? Now, that's true for mega agent team, because on a mega agent team, you can build a mega agent team and eventually hire people to take you out of the role. So you're working on the business rather than in the business. And that would be describing it over on this side, okay? When you are making a decision that you want to build a team and you want to remain in an agent role, even up through the 7th level, you can still always be the rainmaker of your team if that's what you so desire. But if you really want to get out of running it on a day-to-day basis, then probably this path is the path that you would want to take, where you're finding someone to take over your team and that you're working on it and not in it every day. And I'm going to be describing that here as we go through these 7 models more closely. The other thing I want you to look at is how similar this is to running a market center. A lot of people say, I have agents that come to me and they say, well, I want to have a market center. And I go, okay, well, why? Well, because I want to be able to have something to build equity to sell. I go, well, you have a mega agent team, you're netting $1 million. Well, yeah, but I want to be able to have something. Well, you have a business, you have a mega agent team. And I want you guys to hear this. And if you're mega agents on this or agents that want to grow, I want you to hear this. Your value is your database. That's your data bank. When you want to sell your business, if you have a database of clients that you can sell, you have a saleable asset. Just like a market center. The market center has no value if it has no agents. That's our database. The business of an agent is the database. So if you're not maintaining a high-level database, and if you're not implementing a 36 touch where somebody, if I come in and want to buy somebody's real estate business, I want to see that through their lead generation activities, through the phone calls, the newsletters, the 36 touch, everything that they put together, that I could come in, I could take over that business, and I would just buy it, and I would just start running it, because you've got lead generation models in place to be able to lead generate. It's not based off of Zillow. It's not based off of getting leads from anybody. Yes, you'd get referrals because that's in your data bank. Okay. And those personal relationships are important, but again, it's that data bank that you've built that's going to give you a saleable business. And I will tell you one thing, we have mega agents that have teams that have 3 or 4 buyers, agents, listing specialists, and they're netting $1 million. I don't have market centers that net $1 million. In fact, we have very few. So you can make more money being a mega agent in Keller Williams than you can being a market center owner. And the value, you have value in either one. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. The second thing is that having a market center is no different than having a mega agent team. If you're the owner of a mega agent team, you're the OP, you're the operating principal, you're the rainmaker. If you're the OP, you're basically the rainmaker. You're just holding the team leader accountable for recruiting. When you're an OP of a rainmaker of a market center, when you're an OP, you're holding the team leader accountable for the recruiting of agents. When you're the rainmaker, you're holding the team accountable to go out and get listings. Listings is the same thing as recruiting top agents. Okay, so you're the OP, the rainmaker, and you're doing it, or you hire somebody to be your listing specialist and they're doing it. So it's the same thing. Then you have an MCA, director of operations. You have buyer's agents, which are the buyer's agents in a market center. You have listing specialists, which are the listing agents in a market center. It's the same thing. You're doing the same work. I will say that being an agent is probably more impactful versus having a market center, because you have independent contractors working for you as a real estate agent. On most cases, on a real estate mega agent team, you can control the agent a little bit more carefully than you can if you're a market center. So, but I wanted to just explain to you that having a mega agent team is the same as having a market center. So as you start off as an agent in this company, there you are, there's you, okay? Remember, I'm going through the market center path or agent path first. Then your next step, before you hire a buyer's agent, before you think about giving out a lead, before you do anything at all, you hire an admin, because there's no way that you and a buyer's agent can be processing, doing transactional work and doing everything and keeping track of your buyers and your sellers if you don't have an admin person. Then you would hire a transaction coordinator. Now, the reason that you see this going down, if you've been to career visioning, you notice that we don't go vertical, we go linear. Is that right? Linear, vertical, horizontal, I'm not sure. But anyway, you go up and down. And so the reason for that is because at some point in time, hopefully your lead admin person is going to replace you. Okay, and then this lead admin person is responsible for the transaction coordinator. If this was going horizontal, you would be now in charge of both of those people, and that's not wise. You would have a lead admin over here, and you'd have a transaction coordinator over here, and both of those people would be reporting to you. The reason we have it this way is this transaction coordinator reports to the lead admin that reports to you. So now you have one direct person reporting to you. So it gives you more time. Now you have a lead manager, and you have OSA or ISA, and you have a showing assistant. So if you're still monitoring being an agent handling buyers and sellers, your first step is to hire yourself a showing assistant to give you the time to be able to do the things necessary. So you've cultivated the leads through the lead manager. You're still going out and taking listings, but you have somebody else that's going out and showing the properties. And so all you're doing now is you're just writing the contracts. And then the next step would be to have a lead buyer's agent, which could have been that showing assistant. And so now that showing assistant has moved into a lead buyer agent position, and they have two showing assistants that's helping them. Okay. And then over here, you have the lead manager, you have the OSA, the ISA, and over here, you've got a lead admin, and you got a transaction coordinator, and you've moved into a listing manager. And then you have now where you're expanding even more, and you can see here, you're separating this out, your OSA, your ISA, your lead buyer's agent. You still have two showing assistants and so forth. And then here is when you're in the fifth level. Over here, you notice this is the fifth level, part 2. So now you've added a listing agent to the team. So you can still see here, this lead buyer agent has showing assistants because all they're doing is writing contracts. Okay. You now have a listing agent. And then when you move in here, you can see now that all of this is staying the same. A director of lead generation. You have this is not really increased much. But over here, you have a director of sales, you have a buyer's agent, you have a listing specialist, and now you have two showing assistants, and now you're getting ready to expand. Okay. And then as you move here, this basically stays the same. And now you have an expansion business. So you have a director of expansion, you have an expansion business. And then as you move forward into here, you have now moved yourself, because here you're still in the role. Here, you've moved out of the role. There's you. You now have a CEO, which probably was this director of operations. It could have been this person. It could have been your director of sales. But now you have a CEO, and you see here you have more lead generation help. This is basically kind of stayed the same. You have a director of sales here, just like you have here. Okay. This has basically stayed the same, but what you've done is you just expanded more in building your expansion team out. So I'm going to stop, and let me stop. And does anybody have any questions with where I am so far? How are we doing? And is there anything I can help you with? And you can also, you're welcome to go off mute and just ask me any questions you want. Either I'm doing good or I don't know. Everybody good? All right, let's keep going. Ashley, is my little window, it's not blocking anything, is it? Okay. So now I kind of described to you what a market center looks like, the agents, and how you build a mega agent team. This kind of comes in play with the Agent Leadership Council. So you would expect it, if you have a team, to be serving on the Agent Leadership Council. From here, and I'll explain these a little bit later, but from here we talked about how you have a mega expansion. And I think a lot of times some of you don't think about like expansion or building your team out as an opportunity. Those are the opportunities in Keller Williams. And the other thing is, I want to make sure that everybody understands here, all of these are opportunities. All of this here, if you have somebody who's on your team that's a transaction coordinator, they can move up into director of operations. They could move up into a CEO role. If you had a buyer's agent on your team or a listing agent, they could move in director of sales. They could move over here. They could move up to director of expansion. So this here in itself is an opportunity map for people on your team. And when you're building a team and talking to people and using career visioning to hire people for your team, you need to explain the opportunity map that they have, where you're setting a vision for where you're going to take somebody from that first or second level where I started off, where you had that transaction coordinator and your director of operations, or I can't, remember just your executive admin person, to the fact that what could they become to help you run something in your company. So this here in itself is an opportunity map. All right, so we're going to go over to the Market Center leadership side. And this is what a side here, for generally there would be a OP up here. But when you have a Market Center business growth, this is what you'd have. You have the OP, you have a team leader, you have the ALC, and then you've got your associates. You've got the MCA, which is kind of like the director of operations, and then you have an assistant MCA, which would be like kind of like the transaction coordinator, different items to do, but same kind of model. Over here you have productivity coach, which is kind of your director of sales, and then this is assistant team leader, which is kind of like another director that's helping you recruit and grow the Market Center. You have your director of first impressions, which is also another role like an admin person. And then in some cases you have an agent services coordinator. So you can see here that these might be different roles, but you still have the same kind of hierarchy that you have on a team, okay? So this would be when somebody's interested in launching a Market Center, and I will say that the opportunity to launch a Market Center has diminished, only because there's a lot of territory that has already been taken. It doesn't mean we don't have opportunities. It's just those opportunities are less and less. The other thing is that a lot of people say, well, if I can't have an opportunity or launch a Market Center in my own area, I'm not interested. Well, okay. I'm here in Florida, and I was in Texas to have a position as a regional director, so I moved. I also became the operating principal of Little Rock, where I lived in Dallas. So while we do look for more closely than we did when I became an OP, we're looking for people that have more of an influence in an area. It doesn't mean you can't go out and recruit people that have that influence to help you grow something. So the thing is, opportunities are available, not always in your backyard. They are available. Probably within a close proximity. I would say that probably not in another state, not too far away, but someplace that would be generally easy for you to get to. So the process overview is, you have an interest in a franchise. We take you through a screening interview. We take you through a KPA and job fit. We want you to go out and find a core group. A lot of people think it's coming in, giving us a bag full of money and saying, I want to launch a Market Center. And actually what we do first is we say, great, if you're interested in being an operating principal launching a Market Center, go out and find me 5 people. Go out and find me 5 people that are going to be your core members that you believe are going to help you launch this and that can help you drive this. Honestly, if you can't find 5 people, we're not going to let you move forward with an application, because it's all about the influence. We don't open it and they shall come. What we say is go out, it's very grassroots. Go out, find 5 people, 5 or 6 people that you believe will be influential in helping you launch a Keller Williams franchise, then we'll talk. So when you bring me those 5 people, then I do a presentation to that group. The operating principal candidate, the core group, and the investors, we all attend launch together. So we learn about what it is to launch a Market Center. Then you follow up with the regional director. We continue the career visioning with that operating principal. We then are to a point where we will now give you an authorization to proceed. And this is where you actually now start putting the application together. And during that application time that you're putting it together, you're actually going out and recruiting agents. And we require 40 agents to be recruited in addition to the core group before we will award a franchise. So basically, before Market Center can launch and we award a franchise, we need to see that it has the capacity to be able to be fully funded, fully covering the profitability before we even launch it. And the other way that we do this is, for any of you that have been in a launching Market Center, what we do is we incubate. We incubate the Market Center we're going to launch from another Market Center. So everybody joins a Market Center that's close by. We incubate out of that Market Center until we award the franchise, and then they kind of move off and they're on their own. So it's kind of like giving birth. It's kind of like giving birth to a baby. Okay. And so this is what a core group would look like. So we always look for a core group and investors. They can or cannot be investors. Your core group I'm going to give you a description of what core group members are, but they may or may not be investors in the Market Center. We look for core group members. one of those core group members is generally the operating principal. A lot of times when an OP comes to me or somebody that's interested in launching the franchise comes to me, it's not always that person that I make the OP. Sometimes somebody else appears that would be a better candidate for that. Then, as you can see, we get investors from that group, or that group goes out and finds a team leader. Somewhere we find a market center administrator, we find a productivity coach, and then we go out and we continue to find more agents to join. And this is what this would ultimately look like. So you have the OP here, you have these as your core members, and then each core member would be responsible for bringing in 5 agents, 5 producing agents, and what we really want is 5 cappers, not new agents, but 5 cappers, because we know that if we bring in 5 cappers, that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that would be 30 agents that we would be launching with, all producing, and we've got a very good chance at that point of having a very profitable market center. So as I said, the investors join the market center, join Keller Williams. The investor commits to bringing in 5 cappers, and at that point, if they want to be an investor, they have earned the right to provide a check. So what does this ideal core member look like? They generally are a high volume person. They don't have to be, yet we want somebody that is in production, or at least has had high production in the past. They must be learning based. People that are not learning based, honestly, are not a good fit for Keller Williams. They've shown a recruiting influence. They have a positive background check, financially sound. They have a great local reputation, and their KPA profile is compatible. And the characteristics are someone who's a head turner. Now, that does not mean popular. A lot of people say, oh, but they're so popular. Popular does not necessarily mean they're an influencer. So we want people who are head turners, who are influencer, who can have that magnetism that if people say, oh my God, Sally Smith joined Keller Williams, they're going to go, are you kidding me? I got to go check that out. So that's what we look for. The people that want to make money through our model, they're very high integrity. What that means is no transaction is worth their or their market center's reputation, which means that if we have people that are out of culture, we're not afraid to ask someone to leave, because no transaction is worth the culture or the reputation of a market center. And then we also get a bio on each core member who demonstrates the above characteristics. So moving back into what an operating principal does, aside from finding this core group, is they bring the vision to the market center. They generally will raise or have the capital. In the Florida region, to have a franchise is around $300,000 to $350,000. It's about $35,000 for the franchise fee, but we want to have at least $350,000 in the bank for reserves. Accountability, they bring accountability for the team leader, and they also bring the value or demonstrate the value of having a Keller Williams franchise. The 3 things the investors do, or the core group would do, is they call the operating principal to say, hey, I know somebody's interested in joining Keller Williams, okay, and they call to help. They write notes of encouragement monthly, not necessarily to the OP, but they write notes of encouragement to all the agents in the market center. And these are things that the investors do always, not just in the beginning, always, because this is their investment. This is their investment. And the more time that they can spend cultivating and continuing to help the market center, the more that profitability is going to grow. And like I said, they refer 4 valid leads a month to the team leader. Those are the things that investors are supposed to do. So we've kind of talked about what it would be like to be a market center operating principal. That's over here. Ashley, any questions so far? Okay, very good. And so I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to say now what that market center leadership looks like. This moves from here to here, because generally an agent moves out and becomes a market center operating principal. And then over here is where we are with the market center leadership. So what do we look for those of you that are interested in the team leader? These are the characteristics that we look for. You know, very high past record of success. Somebody that's aggressive, sociable. They have high passion, physical appearance, leadership, persuasiveness, responsive. generally we want real estate knowledge, high integrity, bonds and build relationships, servant leader, and knows how to succeed through others. And what do? They grow the market center by recruiting. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to be a team leader and you're not interested in recruiting, this is not the role for you, because it is about recruiting. Now, it's not like going to the Army and recruiting people. This is about knowing how to coach and consult agents and doing a needs analysis on agents of other companies and being able to show the value of Keller Williams, so why they would want to join us. So it's recruiting top talent along with growing the profit share of our agents. And what I mean by that is that you should be getting your referrals through your agents. So if you're the team leader, you're coaching, consulting your top agents in the market center, they should be giving you referrals, or top agents should just be giving, or any agent for that matter, should be giving referrals to the team leader, because you would want to build the market center with people that you like. So you would be giving referrals to your team leader. And the other reason is that you're going to get a piece of the profit share. If you've not attended one of my profit share classes, be sure and do that, because we'd hate to see you miss out on, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a year in profit share, whatever the amount is. I actually did this little, this isn't my profit share class, but I'm just going to share it with you today. If you had, I just think this is important. If you had, if you got $1,500 a month in profit share, that's the equivalent of having $900,000 in the bank at 2% interest. Because at $900,000 in the bank, you would earn about at 2% interest, which you'd be lucky to get that today. But that would be about $18,000 a year in interest. That's how much money you'd have to have in your bank to be able to, that's what your profit share would be equivalent to. Now, if you want to go down to a smaller amount, let's just say you earn $300 a month in profit share. That's the equivalent of having $180,000 in the bank at 2% interest. Now, the thing is that to have $180,000 in the bank after taxes and after business expenses of running a real estate team, that means you probably needed to net somewhere about $300,000, $250,000 to $300,000 after taxes and after living expenses, be able to have $180,000 in the bank. So that's what profit share would do for you. I just want you to think about that. That's phenomenal. Okay, so that's why we want to help our agents get a piece of that profit share, because when you own a Keller Williams franchise, you're giving away 50% of your money, 48% of your money every month to profit share. So it might as well be to you guys. You lead the market center by leveraging your staff. You use the KW tools to achieve goals. You consult the top 20% of your associates. You lead and develop of the agents through leverage. You attain dominant market share in your market areas, and you build market centers to acceptable profitability, and you leverage your staff. That's the basic job of the team leader. A market center administrator, this would be an MCA. Full charge bookkeeper, preferably an accountant type person. You also have an assessment test that you take. There's a KPA that we do. These are some of the areas: computer, administrative skills, and so forth. A real estate background is helpful, but it's not essential. And we have team leader openings now, and we have MCA openings now. So if any of you are interested, or you know of someone that might be interested in being a team leader, or in particular MCA, we do have those positions available. So fill out that Google sheet, and we'll let you know about that. And what does that job fit profile look like, or what does this job do? Is that you implement and drive the value of the systems. You consult the 80% of the associates to increase their productivity and retention. You just do general bookkeeping, banking, general office skills. You assist the team leader in growing the market center. So that's important, is that you're the backup, or you're the support to that team leader. You supervise office staff, and you transmit monthly data on time. You're the second in command of that. You are running the market center as the market center administrator. So it's a very, very important role in our company. The productivity coach, the ideal candidate is generally a recognized leader, driven yet very compassionate, a team player with great collaboration. They solve problems, they're learning based, they learn quickly, they're a great communicator, and they adopter who drives associates to embrace and leverage the KW technology. So you have to have a very good knowledge base of our company and our technology. And then these are the things that you would be expected to do is increase the productivity of non-capping associates. We would like to see 25% of associates in the program achieve capper status. 50% minimum of all associates productive each month. Hit goals of the 1-5-20 for recruiting. 4-to-1 conversion ratio on recruits, net 3 associates, and then you drive attendance and drive active participation in Ignite and Bold. Again, we're actively looking for productivity coaches, so that's another role that's available in the company. Now, the reason I have this in here is because a lot of times people think, okay, I got the job, that's awesome, and you don't really have the job. What we say is you earn the job, and what we mean by that is that if I'm the OP here, and this is my team leader here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my team leader the roles and responsibilities over the next 30, 60, 90 days to be able to earn the right to have this job. And as this person is learning and moving up the ladder, my responsibility as an OP is starting to go down because the team leader is starting to learn. So the support and supervision begin to go down as the achievement and the training start to go up. Now you can see here, right about this level is about 45 days, okay? I'm gonna say at the 30-day mark, if you're not starting to see, and by the way, this would be true for you hiring a transaction manager or an administrative assistant on your team or a buyer's agent or transaction coordinator, ISA, whatever. All this would be true. This would just be the rainmaker or the director of operations, who's ever, hiring that person, and this would be the person you just hired. But right here at this level, if you start to see that this isn't going up, this isn't going flat, I want you to remember these words. What are you pretending not to know? And sometimes you're pretending not to know that maybe something went wrong in the KPA process. It wasn't that you did anything wrong. It's just that someplace we missed something. And there's a very big misunderstanding. So what are you pretending not to know? What most people do is when this person is flatlining and they're not learning and doing the things that need to get done, generally what happens is you're stepping in and you're becoming that person, and then you don't know what to do with this person. At this 30-day mark, if they're not doing what needs to be done, they're not moving up the ladder, this is the place to get rid of them. Right here. Or even before. You know after you hire somebody for the first 30 days that they're going to be, what you want or not. So you want to see them starting to succeed so they earn the right after 90 days to have that job. If they're flatlining and they're not moving forward, guys, you got the wrong person. Because if they can't do it in the first 30 days, they're probably not going to do it in the next 60 days or 90 days either. Or you go back and you revalidate or re-verify, I should say, the KPA and see where you missed and go back to those expectations and those standards that you talked about at the end of the KPA process and see where something may not be appropriate and start over. But then again, use some of the tools that we provide to you to put them on probation and make sure that they're getting the training. You have some responsibility to this as well, because honestly, I see a lot of people here that want this person to succeed, and over here, we flatlined. We're just not doing anything. We're not training them. We're not doing the things that are necessary. So you actually have to look at your DNA in this and say, hey, am I doing what I need to do to make sure this person is succeeding at the best that they can? So sometimes we have to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. All right. These are the KW value propositions. There's 15 of them. I think most of you are pretty aware of all the things that we have listed out here. So I'm going to move forward and continue to show you some of the value propositions in Keller Williams, okay? And these would be as an agent or as a leader in the market center. These would be some of the tools that you would use to either grow your business, or these are some of the tools that you would use to be able to help your market center grow or to be able to help the agents grow. So first of all, we have a tremendous website that's called Keller Inc. A lot of people are not familiar with this, but this is where you find all these books. By the way, we're the only company where you have an author like Gary Keller that has written all these books, or Linda McKissick, or whatever we're one of the only companies that have these. And so when you go to Keller Inc., it's right now, I think the One Thing book or something pops up here at the very, very beginning. And, but there's a place here where you can go to resources. It's not, for some reason, there it is. Is it coming? It's waiting. It's waiting. There we go. All right. So right here, you can see we've got, oh, shift. They got shift here. Let me see over here. And so as you scroll down, you see here's all the books. Let me make this little. You can see here's all the books. And here's the one thing that is really cool. Okay. You can either go to resources or you can go and click on the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. And when you click on it, you see this is where you buy the book. And when you scroll down, you can see the other things that you can get. The other thing is that you can see that you've got the 192 tasks for a mega agent, the MREA figures, the quiz, book club topics, the chart of accounts, all of these things are listed here. If you wanted to consider maybe, let's just go to resources, you'll see what I mean. So here's the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. When you click on that, here's the budget, the criteria, buy and sell worksheets. But here's the best thing. You've got an entire investor workshop presentation and an entire investor workshop client workbook. So and I'm not saying they're maybe up to date, that there might be some numbers that need to be changed, but basically you can go in and customize this any way you want to. But how many of you are doing an investor workshop every month where you take your client base and say, hey, this might be a great time for you to buy investment property. Here's a Millionaire Real Estate Investment book, and let's have a webinar on how you do an investment. You invite a financial person, a mortgage person, an insurance guy, or whatever it is, and do a presentation, teach people how to buy investment property. Now you're bringing real value to your client base, okay? Or it may be your first home. Now this one here is, they used to have, they're rewriting the book, but I wanted to tell you about this anyway, because there used to be a home buyer's presentation here. They took it down because they're rewriting the book, but that book is going to be coming out shortly as well. But you've got Shift, Millionaire Real Estate Investor, The One Thing, any of these books that are available to you. Hold. These are all great. These are all great books if you're an agent to be able to give to your clients to say, hey, let me know if you're interested in flipping. Let me know if you're interested in buying property and holding it. You've got all these books here as tools to be able to give as gifts to your agent, to your database. All right, so that's a little bit about Keller Inc. and the things that you can find there. And then here's the One Thing book. And again, the One Thing has its own database or website as well. Now, this is another great book to be able to give to your clients because they're in business. Most of them need to know what's the one thing that they can do, such as by doing it, everything becomes easier or unnecessary. They're all professional people or perhaps running a family. I mean, everybody can use a One Thing, right? And it is a bestseller, so you can say this is one of the books that our company writes. It really validates you, and it validates our company for being, one of the best writing book companies on the New York bestseller list. And there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's training, there's all kinds of things, guys. I love the One Thing because it just talks about so many areas that just can help you with your personal life. You've got the podcasts here on Make Someday Goals a Reality, how he quit his job and she got her husband back. And you can see why some of these are not real estate related. These are just everyday people related. Okay, so again, a great gift to give to your clients, or just to keep for you to be able to get better at everything that you do, because you're looking for opportunities. And these are the things that people say sometimes, gosh, how do you know so much stuff? Well, I read the One Thing, and I read the MREA book, and I listen to the podcast, and I don't know everything about everything, but I probably know enough to be able to go, yeah, you know what, the 80-20, that's that ICE, the ICE, can't think of it right now, but iceberg, where you have 20% of it showing off the top, and then 80% of the iceberg is below the water. Or having a balanced life, and they talk about a ballerina being able to balance on her toes, or just the dominoes, and just all sorts of different things that the One Thing really can help you with in your life and personal life and your real estate business as well. And again, if you want to be a leader, it's about knowing all the tools that we have within the organization. I'm going to take you to technology.kw.com. So if you're really interested in knowing about Keller Williams and learning more about our company and what it provides to you, Technology.kw.com is a really, really great resource. And again, if you're trying to recruit or you just want to learn more about Keller Williams, or you want to show people opportunities, this is a great site to be able to have people go to. Again, this is the real estate revolution. So when you go and go through this, it's multiple areas here where you can go on and learn about command and updates and so forth. There's information on the agent experience, the consumer experience, and the team experience. This is here where it says, now I'm up, hold on, this is kind of, I'm moving fast for this right now. It's not this, it's my, what do you call it? Internet. Was not working really good this morning. Over here, you've got technology. Over here, you've got headquarters. And so when you click on headquarters, it's going to take you to a lot of the things about KWRI, about our company, about media. There's all kinds of information here about, you know, if you wanted to put something in your listing presentation about what kind of company we are, you would want to use this, or the media, or if you're trying to recruit somebody. All of these areas here are really, really important to be able to know about. I love Outfront Magazine because Outfront Magazine comes out quarterly, but again, it has a lot of information about our company. It's just talking about now about our, you know, our IALC votes, recent stories, things that Gary Keller, some of the training we've had. This is really good. This is Jim Talbot. Every month he does a interview, or I'm sorry, a talk on a market update. When you scroll down here, it's all about meeting the mega agents. So, you know, you can see what kind of success some of our mega agents have had. So there's all kinds of information here in Outfront. And then this is the KW.com website. I'm not going to go there because it just takes you to KW.com where people would do a search. But if you are interested in having people join Keller Williams, this is another area. You would want to send them technology.kw.com. And this is where your business thrives. And again, this is another website that you can send to people, which talks about all the things that that we have as a company. So again, another really important area that that you guys would want to learn about. All of these things that I'm teaching you right now are all opportunities at Keller Williams to learn more about our company and why we are who we are. Here's the podcast I was telling you about, the One Thing podcast. Also, Think Like a CEO. If you've not listened to that on the podcast channel, you want to do this. Start off with season 1. Really, really, really great conversation with Gary Keller. As we finish up, let me see what time it is. As we finish up, I want to take you to KW Connect because this is another place where we talk about opportunities. And you're going to need to log in. So this is you just go to KW Connect, and if you're already logged in, sometimes it just automatically takes you there, but I wasn't logged in, so, or it's been too long since I've been logged in. And this is going to take you to our KW Connect site. And up here, if you've not been to this site lately, this will generally take you to, oops, we're setting up your account now and you'll be able to access in 24 hours. I don't know what's going on. So let's see, I don't think that's anything that I need to pay attention to. But when you get to KW Connect, you're going to go here to KWU. And you see here where it says other KW opportunities. So you're going to go to training. I'm sorry, you're going to go to resource, training, KWU. Once you get to KWU, you're going to go to KW opportunities. When you're KW opportunities, you've got this map. Now, this map is kind of the map that is going to give you more information that I already shared with you. So, for instance, if you're interested in education and you want to be a Bolt coach, KW Kids Can instructor, KW approved instructor, young professionals, leverage instructor, any of the MAPS coach, any of these things, you would click here. And then this basically tells you some of the qualifications and the different things that you would need to do. So when you click here, I believe this takes you to the Mastery Coach qualifications, and it would tell you if you want to be an agent coach, a leadership coach, a productivity coach. These would be coaches for coaches. And a transformational coach, director of operations. These are all, these would be coaches for specific roles. Like a director of operations would be a coach for a director of operations for a team. A productivity coach would be a productivity coach, a coach for a productivity coach. A leadership coach would be a coach for regional directors, OPs, team leaders, and MCAs, and so forth. So you can see here that these are the expectations of being of if that's something that you wanted to pursue. If you wanted to, let me just back up here. I'll go back to the here. And if you wanted to be leadership opportunities, a market center administrator, operating principal, productivity coach, team leader, you click here, and basically it just tells you, and again, it's going to tell you the training that is required for those roles, okay? And it says check in with your market center leadership for more information, okay? And then again, team leader, and it would tell you some of the training that would be required for that. And we're probably going to start, maybe for people that are interested in being a team leader, we're probably going to start maybe, I don't know, we've been thinking about it, having some kind of a team leader boot camp for people that maybe in a year or two want to maybe be a team leader and get them started on a path of recruiting, or, you know, different things that they can start doing to help in the market center to kind of prepare somebody to be a team leader. Let's see, this, let me just go back here this way. Again, you click back here, and if you wanted to be, will serve, service opportunities, grow, career development opportunities, wealth building opportunities, anything that you're interested. Here's this is for an agent team, admin assistant, buyer's agent, director. These are all the roles that are available. So if you click one, you say I want to be a listing manager. This tells you here what this would take, what some of the training is for it. Okay, and again, see the 6 personal perspective: win with buyers, win with sellers, win-win negotiations. All of these things that I'm talking to you about, that I've said, you know, these are things you have to master. If you really want to have a role on a team, if you've gone in and you've kind of learned all these things and mastered some of these, like again, I said shift, you know, that's reading the shift book. This would make it really, really easy for you to be able to work to get one of those positions. Let's see. I think I did this. Business opportunities, business owner, expansion network owner, specialization, team owner. So if you just do team owner, you see here, and these are the trainings and different things that you would need to do. So most of this, you're going to go to your market center to find out more opportunities, or to the region, and we're happy to help you with that as well. There's other resources on here. So when you, if you wanted to look into KWU, you could click here. That other little map will take you there. Well, I'm already at KWU. What am I doing? But if you wanted to do KWU Master Faculty or the Approved Trainer Program or different things there, you would just click on any of these links right here. Okay. So we'll click out of there. And now we're back to our opportunity map. And so we've covered market center leadership and what that looks like and what it takes to be able to have one of those opportunities. Again, you know, from here, you could be a market center productivity coach. Anybody is eligible for profit share. That's one of the biggest opportunities we have within Keller Williams, is to be a profit share earner. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You just have to refer people to the team leader and make, my gosh, what do I have down here? This was kind of phenomenal. If you made $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year in profit share, that would be the equivalent of having $6 million in the bank. So, but imagine sitting back and earning $120,000 a year. That's almost like having a job. $50,000 a year is like having a job. $40,000 a year is like having a job. And all you got to do is refer people to Keller Williams, and it gives you that extra income. It doesn't take a lot to do that. So if you're interested in learning more about that, watch on the calendar. Ashley, when do I have my next profit share class? Maureen, how did we do today? Good? You're on mute.
I was trying to get back to the mute button. It was great. I mean, it was very detailed, but not crammed. You did a really great job with all that information. So,
Good.
and one thing I want to say is I went to Team Leader Boot Camp, not because I wanted to be a team leader, but it helped me learn how to support the team leader. So any of these opportunities that are out there, everybody should go to Team Leader Boot Camp when you do it again, because that tells us what to do to support the Market Center staff leadership.
Well, you're very learning based, so you love doing those things. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. So that is honestly the end of my little presentation here, as you can see. So let's open it up for questions. Any ahas you got? Any questions you have? Anything that you're interested in? Anything that I didn't bring clarity to? And I want everybody to really understand also the fact that you have an opportunity in Keller Williams to really have everything you want by just being a market center owner. I mean, an MREA business owner. I mean, that's the biggest opportunity you have within Keller Williams. And hopefully I showed you that by growing that team, it's just like owning a market center. And you can make $1 million, you can make $500,000, you can make 400, whatever you want to make, and you're running it. You're running it, and you have everybody working for you. So you don't have to be the listing agent. You don't have to be the sales agent anymore. That's what you become if you become an OP of a market center. But here's where, or a team leader, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. They say, I want to move from being an owner of my real estate team because I'm tired of listing and selling, and my agent's not doing their job, and I want to come over and own a market center. Well, guess what you did? You just put yourself in the role of holding all independent contractors accountable to go out and list and sell real estate.
Yep.
So what's the difference? What's the difference? The only difference is if you're an MREA owner, you really have you have hiring and firing power to a certain extent because you can hire and fire the people on your team. When you're an OP, you can hire and fire people, but you're not going to do that probably as much because what you have to do is you have to train them to be able to go out and do what you want them to do. Well, isn't that the same thing you do as a MREA mega agent team owner? You're training your people to go out and list and sell real estate. It's no different if you're a market center owner. You're training people to go out and list and sell real estate. It's the same difference. But you can make a lot more money being an MREA owner. And while we love profit share, remember you're not giving back 50% of your profits. So remember, if you're a market center owner and you make $1 million, you're giving $480,000 of that back to profit share. $520,000 goes to you and your investors. If you're an MREA owner, you just put $1 million in your pocket. Now, you may choose to share some of that profit with your agents on your team for helping you get there, but that becomes your choice. So I want to bring really, really strong clarity to that because I'm not sure a lot of people get that how impactful it is to be an MREA owner and running your business like a business because I don't know if I can get back to that slide.
Hi, George, I have a question for you.
Sure.
If you decide to do MC role, the MCA role, are you still able to sell? Are you able to do both, still be an agent and do MCA, or do you have to pick one or the other?
Well, I mean, we have agents, we have MCAs that have a real estate license but it's not as a business. It's more on the side, and they generally refer it out because it's a full-time job. I mean, you're running a market center. You don't have time to go out and list and sell and do things if you're an MCA, you know what I mean? And you really don't have time to be working transactions. And the other thing is that unless it's your personal database, you're not going to be lead generating or going out looking for leads or anything like that because you're not going to want to take business away from your agents. It becomes too much like competition. So any MCA that we've got that's an agent generally just refers it out, or they might do an occasional deal on the side or something just for family, friends, or members. Does that make sense?
Yep. And can you speak to the salary? I mean, is there a range that you can speak to?
For an MCA?
Yes.
That's going to vary market center to market center, but I'm going to say it's going to be in the mid 5 figures. What's that? Not 5 figures. What would that be? Well, like anywhere from 30 to 50,000, somewhere in that range. Is that 5 figures?
Thank you.
But that, don't hold me to that, because like I said, that varies from
Varies from market center to market center.
yeah.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
But that's probably a middle range, wouldn't you say, Andrew? That's probably a middle range for.
Yeah, it's about a middle range.
Yeah.
Depends. There's a lot of factors, brand new as opposed to been in the role for 10 years. So it makes a difference.
Right. So Andrew, what did you think of the presentation? Did you learn anything?
I learn something every time you talk, Georgia. I love you. So, and I mirror you. I have a version of your land of opportunity
Yeah.
that I recruit with. I have it on my desk laminated. Actually, I use that to recruit with, because all the opportunities that Keller Williams provides as agents and its staff are literally endless. It depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. You set the tone for your success.
Yeah.
We provide the vehicle and the tools to get there. And, as a recruiting tool, I can tell you now, when I talk to some top producers and I say, as a top producer, the road before you is endless. From expansion teams down to leadership, you tell us what you want to do in life and we'll help you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love it as a recruiting tool.
Your opportunity map is a little bit different than the one I'm using. Send me yours. I've seen that before. I don't know that I have it, but if you've got it like in your computer someplace, I know you got laminated, but send it over to me, would you?
Yeah, I'll scan it, send it to you today.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Ronnie, what did you
You're
think? Ronnie's right next door to me.
Yes, and once again, you never cease to amaze me. I've taught Ignite here for 3.5 years, and I never ever said to them, we always said, it's free, keep coming back, keep coming. I never said, if you haven't done 16 transactions, you don't need to move forward. That blew me away. That's an aha. Thank you, George.
Well, that's in your Ignite book, right? It's for anybody that has 60 transactions or less. Isn't it still in the book?
Yes, and that's just the basic, basic again.
I mean, and I love it when people say, I've taken Ignite. I go, well, great. So are you doing 16 transactions? No. I said, well, then I guess you need to take Ignite again because you haven't really graduated.
Absolutely.
By the way, do you guys know the average transaction for an agent I think in the NAR, but in Florida, it's like 7 or 8 transactions a year. It's a very, very minimal, we got 1.2, something like that, 1.2, 1.3 million realtors. And I think only like 20% earn like $60,000 or greater. I mean, and here's the thing, guys, we have such a huge opportunity, like you're talking about, Andrew, with with this. Now, if you don't want to be the CEO, then just keep listing and selling real estate. But you tell me how this is different than owning a Starbucks or owning any business. This is you. Whoops. This is you. You've got somebody working for you, and you've got all these employees. They're just doing other things. These are people that are baristas or something. Do you know what I mean? So this is no different. And real estate agents just don't think of themselves as a business owner. They just don't think of themselves as a business owner. And this, when you can make $1 million selling real estate by, working with buyers and sellers, what kind of business can you get into that costs you, $2,400 to get started and have your own team making $1 million a year at some point in time? And, this isn't like, a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to be running all those people. Well, you got a CEO running all these people. So I just don't know, everybody, that we talk about. Well, first of all, a lot of agents don't aspire to be this. That's number one. We've got to go out and recruit people that want this and really explain to them that you are a business within a business at Keller Williams. And for like Andrew and for those of you that are in the market center leadership position, Ronnie, Maureen, and that are doing some of these things to help market centers, this here, like I said, is a pathway of its own for opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that people think about this. And the other thing is, we're not setting a big enough, our teams, our agent teams are not setting a big enough vision to be able to hire the right people to be on the teams, to be able to create these opportunities for people. So every time I teach it, I get a little bit do a little bit different. I think I get a little bit better at everything you do. You know, it's like doing anything the first time. It's a little drafty, and then you do it the second time, and you know, I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. So, any contributions or anything that you guys have? Matthew, I see you just popped up on my screen. How did you like it? Which market center are you with?
We're from Lakeland. How you
Okay.
doing, George?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well.
How did you like this?
It's great actually. You know, it's nice to kind of get back to the 7th level, and I like the opportunity to kind of see where you can go within Keller Williams. I can't even tell you how many times I've been on that KW Connect screen and never clicked on the opportunities tab. So my question for you was actually related to, you know, growth within Keller Williams. And I, you know, got an invitation, I'm sure like everybody else did, for Digital Coaching Skills Camp, which is a 2-day
Yeah.
event for next week. And it really wasn't mentioned up there as you went through the kind of the curriculum.
Sure.
So what can you speak to Coaching Skills Camp and kind of who would benefit from that?
Yeah. Well, Coaching Skills Camp is well, first of all, it's an excellent class. So even whether you're an agent or whether you're a leader in a market center, it's about coaching people, and they get into some coaching models. But honestly, there's a lot about mindset, and there's a lot about how to have conversations with people. And so if you're a real estate agent, all of this really helps you when you're working with buyers and sellers, because really what you become is a consultant and a coach to help people get what they want, right? And so I don't think that there's any class that you would take that would be a deterrent for that. I'm signed up for it. I've been to Coaching Skills Camp. Is Maureen still there? I don't know if Maureen's on the call still.
Yep, I'm here.
Maureen, didn't you go to Coaching Skills Camp in person a couple of times?
Yes, yep.
So maybe you can help me with this, because we used to go, Matthew, in person. Diana Kokoska taught it. We used to go in person, but they talk a lot about there's different models in coaching, the grow model, this model, that model, and it's different approaches to the way that you would approach somebody. And all of those, I think, you know, Matthew, I'm the kind of person that when I go and listen to a class, I don't think about it like I'm going here to be a coach. I think about it like in all the different roles that I have. Like a lot of times when I'm sitting and listening to something, I'll go, oh my God, that's the way we need to bring that into our recruiting presentation. Now it's Gary Keller telling me about the economy and where the world's going to go, right? But I'm going like, oh my God, that would be a great slide for this, or that would be a great slide for that, or that would be, it doesn't have any, or that would be a great slide for an agent to put in their buyer or seller presentation. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of go into it with not like, I want to be a coach. You have to go into it and go, what you're going to learn just as an individual to be better at anything you do. Does that help you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm the Ignite instructor here for our market center, and it seems like that would clearly tie in to, you know, what we're teaching for new agents.
Exactly.
And not just that, but like as a, you know, onboarding new agents onto your team, like it seems like overall that's a really good blanket, you know, training that could get us to, you know, add it up.
Maureen, do you want to add anything?
Well, I just, you know, when I look at Coaching Skills Camp, it taught me to be better with even my clients, you know, helping to coach the clients into decisions. And even today I had a call from a seller who said, my brother-in-law told me I have an as-is contract and I don't have to do anything. And I had to coach her through that so we wouldn't lose this cash buyer that was above market value. And all of the skills that we learn in any of these things help contribute to doing that job better. And you were there, right? I mean, it's the same kind of thing. You have that same opinion?
Absolutely. I've been twice, and the self-reflection and the discovery about not only your own personal scripts, but that mindset just really helps in every walk of life, but especially as an Ignite instructor, I think you'd love it.
Yeah, and the other thing is you know, the things that you learn, those are definitely things that you can take back and teach some of those things to your agents. Just say, here's the GROW model, GROW, and here's the things that as you're coaching somebody, these are the things that you might want to consider. And you can relate it to anything you want to. So definitely, I've been I can't even tell you how many times I've been, 10, 15 times, and I'm going to take the course again just because I'm a learning base, number one, but they change things and it reminds me of things. So it absolutely would be beneficial to anybody on this call for them.
Awesome. Thank you guys all for your feedback. I appreciate it.
Well, all right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
It's kind of a two-part question. If we want to be of service to our organization and yet maybe we're not set on a certain path, is there a way to career vision with someone and just let them see our skill set so that if an opportunity does present it, then we've had that conversation about what we're open to, versus saying, I'm identifying in 5 years, I want to be in this space?
Yeah, no. So what you want to do is you want to have your KPA kind of verified.
I would think that that might be it. I would love to work at KWRI in some regards. You know, so for instance, I don't know what's available necessarily, but if you know, if you as our regional director heard of something and maybe had had that conversation, or if my team leader had heard of something, there might be an opportunity if the KPA was revalidated that they could say, hey, that's a good fit.
Let me ask you a question. Why KWRI? I'm just curious.
Well, I lived in Austin for 20 years, and my master's degree is in human resource development and training consultation. So,
Okay. Well, you know what I would do, Ann? Yeah. So I can't remember which market center are you in.
I'm with Dave Chubbin, 215.
Right. So one of the things is to get with anybody. I'm not sure, you know, maybe with Dave or whatever, but yeah, you can always have your KPA verified. Okay. The thing is that with the KPA job fit, we're generally verifying you for a specific role because the KPA is structured for that. But you can ask Dave to pull your KPA and you could see any of the roles that you would be theoretically, I don't want to say approved for, but your highest fit. Have you done that yet?
I did my KPA, and that was some time ago.
Have you taken the career visioning course?
Not yet, no, ma'am.
Okay. That
Was
here's
in
what,
my growth plan for the year.
all right, let's do this. Next time, we'll probably be bringing it up the first quarter of the year. So what I would say is just get when we bring that up, get with, because technically you're not really supposed to be able to have access to all that stuff until you've taken the course. So let's get you in the course the first part of the year, or there might be something I can have Ashley look, and there might be a career visioning course digitally, right, Ashley? I think there's one being taught in another region right now. And you can take that, and I'll have Ashley look for that. Will you look for that, Ashley, a little bit later? Okay. And I saw one marketed or advertised the other day. And take that course, and then you're going to learn about the course. You can learn about you, and then you can look at your own KPA and get copies of it and see what I'm talking about.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. She just posted the link for you. So if you go to the chat box, the link is there where they're going to have the KPA classes. Good. Oh, she posted it privately, so she's just going to go ahead and post it to everybody. So I was going like, I don't see it. All right, what else? Anybody else has some great questions? There it is. It doesn't really matter where it is because it's digital now. So who's teaching it, Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, anything I can make better, different, leave out, add to?
Just keep doing it the way you're doing it. It's perfect.
All right. Very good. Awesome. All right. Oh, okay. So shoes. He's good. He's good. He's from Chicago. So you can take that. That's John Schumacher is teaching it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being on the call today. Really appreciate it. And hope you can get some great information with this and take it back to your people. And if there's anything you guys are interested in, go into that chat and download that Google sheet and let us know what we can do to help you. Okay.
Great. Thanks,
All right,
Georgia.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.